Rafael. I appreciate you meeting me here today at Casa Jacaranda. This is the first time I've ever been here. Well, as we were talking about, I think I've been in here with a Subway at one point. That's the last time I've been in here. Clearly, I need to get out of the office more.
This is a good place, yeah. I've been here like 4 times. Very authentic. I like it. The taste, the coffee is really good. I want to thank you for the opportunity to have me today, so thank you very much.
Oh, no sweat, man. The point of this is so employees that might not otherwise get a chance to meet you, maybe even just through a video, get to know a little bit about you. You've moved around a little bit too, so maybe you've met more folks than others, but talk to us a little bit about what it is you do, how long you've been with the city, what department you're in now, what departments you've been in.
This year, next month, I'll be with the city for 6 years. So I started off as a meter reader. I got the opportunity there. From there, I moved up to meter tech, then stayed there for about a year. After that, I switched to utility billing. So going from outside, working in the elements to indoors. This is that was my first time, which I currently right now work in utility billing. So this is my first time working inside, so I like that a lot. And then just recently I switched positions, and now towards the end of the week I'll be moving to building safety, and I'll be a permit tech. So
okay,
I moved around a little bit, meeting different people, and then just building on my knowledge, from the water department to indoors, water department to seeing how it all, connects with each other, and then now going into building safety. I believe, I can expand on my knowledge there.
I think what you've done is pretty cool. You started reading meters, which is an entry-level position, but what people don't realize is it's probably one of the most critical positions that we have. That's what keeps the utility running. If we don't measure water properly and charge for it correctly, then the system kind of breaks down. And then so you went from that into utility billing, which is where the information you were previously collecting goes, and you kind of see how that goes. And then I think going to permitting is pretty cool too, because now you see all those buildings and businesses as they're coming in to town. You kind of get to see that. That's really cool.
It all just, comes back. Like you said, meter department, you get the reads, you send the reads off, and then now working indoors, now I'm the one receiving the reads, helping with the bills and things like that. So we work on that with work orders. Back in the meter department, we would receive the work orders and, work on them. Now we input the work orders, and now going into the permit side, whenever new builds come in, that being commercial or residential, then we have to look at the impact fees or things like that to see if they're approved, see if they're paid before we can start their water account. So that knowledge again, comes into play where I'm going right now. So now I'll get to see that side of it. So I'm pretty excited, man. Again, just expanding my knowledge with the city and just for myself, and trying to help out the departments as I can and just keep growing.
So you and I have had the pleasure of knowing each other. Well, it's been my pleasure. I don't know if it's been your pleasure.
It's my pleasure too. Yeah,
it's been my pleasure. I've gotten to know you over the entire 6 years, because I started in utilities as well, and you've always been one that was always looking for. I don't want to, frame this in the wrong way. Not looking for the next opportunity. The way you've always phrased that is you're looking to round out your understanding of how the organization works and all that. You went through emerging leaders. Is that right?
Yes, emerging leaders, and then also went through university, so I have those 2 experiences. So all that helped me out, because you get to see what each department does, how we all help each other out. I did notice that the water department was mentioned a lot, with every single department, and then same thing with other departments. Of course, I'm in the water department, so I've been there since I started, so that's where most of my knowledge is right now. But like you said, I like new challenges, new information, learning. So taking those 2 opportunities in emerging leaders and university, that helped out a lot too. And just keeps me excited to keep working for the city and just stay with the city. You know, I don't see myself not working for the city. I love it here.
So 6 years, you got 24-ish left with us.
Yep.
Right? You got to get to 30.
I want to, yes, of course.
All right. Well, good. Okay, so I have another question for you. So, what about Mansfield? This organization in particular has made you want to stay here, especially for 24 more years. Right?
Yeah. So I grew up here in Mansfield. So I remember coming in, you know, as a kid to the water department, paying the bill with my mom. So that experience alone, just like remembering coming into City Hall to pay the water bill, and then now actually working for the city, you know, working for the city is like the people, the coworkers, you know, management. I see a lot of.
Appreciate you throwing that in.
Yes, I love, like, there's some really good changes. I will say that. There's been a lot of, I've been here for almost 6 years, and I've seen a lot of changes and a lot of positive changes. So, I mean, just things like that is what I feel like keeps an employee wanting and still willing to work here for years, you know. So, you know, just management coming up to you and then saying, you know, hey, I want to provide this to you. Like, what do you need? You know, what can I do to help you out for you to make your job easier? And then, you know, just things like that. Mansfield has people that cares about their employees. So I've always appreciated that. And that's my reason for wanting to keep working here and then just staying motivated and just stay 24 more years. And again, I can say that with a smile on my face because that's truly what I want, genuinely. So that's my motivation.
You've got a great leadership team in all of Public Works, so I know that makes it a place that's enjoyable to come to work. But people like you make work light for everybody else. So I definitely appreciate that about you as well.
Thank you.
So I only asked you to prepare for one question today, one kind of one that you knew was coming, and that's what True North is to you. What's your why? And it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong answer to that, whether it's, you know, something related to your personal life or professional life. It doesn't matter. So if I were to ask you what True North is to you, what would your answer be?
I would say I wouldn't pinpoint as to one thing. More, I would say, I guess it would have to do with family would be one of my True Norths. And then work family would be my other True North. So of course with family, you know, providing, you know, helping them out financially, physically, emotionally. So that's my True North, just, you know, being able to help out as much as I can, still being able to live a happy life. And now with work family, I like to help out whoever I can, whenever I can. I see somebody coming in from outdoors, hauling something in, and, you know, I'm always the first one to jump up and say, hey, let me help you, you know. Of course, nobody tells you to do it, you know, but it just comes, you know, me wanting to help out. So that, and then also helping out the department as well as myself, you know, me learning, you know, that helps me out, which in turn helps the department out. So I like helping just in general. And I love teaching, so whenever I have the opportunity to teach, then I like to, you know, teach. And same thing with learning, you know, even with learning, a lot of people like to say, oh, I know how to do this, you know, even if it's as easy as tying your shoes. You know, if someone comes up to me and says, hey, let me show you how to tie your shoes, I'm never one to say, I already know how to do this, you know, I know how to tie my shoes. But I'll listen to them, you know, hey, this is how you tie your shoes, okay, cool. If they have a good way of doing it, then I just learned something. But if not, then I'll use it as an opportunity to teach. So then I'll say, hey, well, this is my way of doing it. You know, maybe it'll help you out. But yeah, just I guess family in general, you know, it's the motivation, you know, work family and family. So that's my motivation to just keep striving for the best for everybody in general. So
that's one of the things that has always impressed me about you is even when we were setting up today, you know, you're running around saying, hey, how can I help? How can I move this? How can I do that? I've always appreciated that about you and respected that about you. But you know, it's also impressive that you want to move around from department to department to learn more, not to get away from anything or anything like that, but to learn more. There's a saying that I use all the time, you know, say, you should never assume, first of all, you're the smartest person in the room. And if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yes, of course.
You know, so man, I appreciate you agreeing to meet me out here today. It's always good to talk to you.
Appreciate
I hope people get to know a little bit about you watching this.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right.